Hi mer friends, my name is Justine, I am the Mermaid Seamstress, and today we will be doing a review of the Finfolk Productions Mythic Tale. So this is my Mythic Tale by Finfolk Productions. The color is Arctic Blue, and this is one of their second release tales. It was released in the summer of 2017. I purchased this tale in January of 2018 and received it about 2 weeks later. This tale features a neoprene body with resin scales and a full silicone fluke. And then additional silicone fins are available for purchase. And that includes hip, dorsal, and heel fins. This tail came with the full work, so I do actually have hip fins on the front, and you can see my heel fins and my dorsal fin. The basic tail, so without any additional fins, runs for $975, and that is a really good mid-range price between some higher end fabric tails and their full silicone tails. So it puts it at a really good price point, especially for the quality of this tail. Oh my goodness, the quality of this tail is absolutely incredible. And then any additional fins can cost between $100 and $200 extra. Full set of fins is $400. This tail is also pre-sized, so it is not made custom to size, but they have a huge variety of size options out there, which I think in addition to the stretchiness of the neoprene will definitely work for most people. The monofin inside this tail is the Finnish shooter monofin. It is a one size fits all, so it's the 2XL fin, so I don't feel like it is going to fall off of me, but at the same time, like, it's gonna fit me, and if my friends wanted to try it, they could definitely try it, and if they have bigger foot sizes, because normally in the shooter monofin I wear a large. This tail has a wonderfully hidden zipper between either the dorsal fins or cleverly covered by overlapping scales. The zipper is sturdy and water friendly, but does require help to get zipped up because it is on the back of the tail. You can try and zip it up yourself, but I would be wary of that because you could accidentally break the zipper or catch it on the scales or the dorsal fin as you try and zip it up yourself. So I would recommend getting a friend to help you zip it up, but the tail is also, you can pull it on without using the zipper. I found that worked really well for me. Maybe if it's a snugger fit, it might not work as well, but I was able to get the tail on without any help from anyone. But you shouldn't swim alone, so theoretically you would have somebody to help you anyway. This tail did sit a little bit low on me. I know that was a complaint from some other mermaids as well, that these tails are a little bit short, but I was able to add a spandex waistband to fix that and to make it come up higher to fit my comfort level. On the inside, this tail, there is a spandex lining, which is super comfortable and helps you to get into the tail, as well as protecting the stitching from the scales on the inside of the tail, which is really nice because then you don't have to worry about your body constantly rubbing and weakening those stitches. This tail looks amazing both in and out of the water. The resin scales have an iridescent finish which reflects the light and shifts in colors and is definitely more dazzling than any normal silicone tail that I have seen. It's beautiful and it's breathtaking, and I got so many comments with how wonderful and dazzling I looked in the water. The fluke and fins are just as beautiful. They are painted with Pearlex pigments, which also sparkle. There's a ton of sparkle in this tail, and they color shift as well. The quality work on this tail is amazing, and it's definitely as high as other silicone tails. Every scale is very, very detailed and sculpted beautifully. The sculpting on the fluke and fins is incredible. It's definitely, to the same quality as their normal silicone tails. Um, and the fins are attached really well. I really don't see any, I don't have any fear of them coming off in the future. The resin scales do make this tail a little bit more delicate than a normal silicone tail, though they're sewn on with fishing line, which makes it really hard for them to come off. They do come off if you are too rough with your tail. I have lost maybe 2 scales so far, but I was able to find them later, so I saved them to sew them back on later. Finfolk also sends the tail with a bag of 10 or so scales, just in case you damage any or lose any and you need to replace them. They also sell replacement scales on their website in bigger batches, or you can use those scales to make a matching top or accessories to go with your tail. Another big thing is that the paint does scratch off of the scales. I haven't had too much of a problem with this, or at least not that you can notice from a distance. You can see that it's mostly on the tips of the scales, and it's mostly in areas that receive a lot of wear, like your heels, your butt, and especially on the back side. So you just want to be careful and make sure that you lay down either a mat or some kind of towel or padded surface when you're getting into your tail, so that you're not rubbing your tail on the hard pool deck. If you are sitting in this tail for a dry gig, make sure that the area that you're sitting in, the place that you're sitting in, is well padded and protected, so that you're not scratching your tail or your fluke. The performance of this tail in the water is amazing. It performs really well. The silicone fin and fluke flow beautifully in the water. They're nice and fluid, which looks really natural. The scales shift colors beautifully, and you don't see any gapping. You can't see the neoprene between the scales unless you're missing a scale. The shooter monofin inside provides plenty of propulsion, and the larger size eliminates the foot cramp problems that I had with my well-fitted one in my previous review. The fluke is also really great in terms of drainage. There are little drainage holes at the bottom, and I never feel like the tail is creating drag by collecting water in the fluke. The drainage also helps really well in allowing the tail to dry slightly faster. Although this tail is about 20 to 30 pounds, it is very buoyant because of the 3mm neoprene of the body. But it's not so buoyant where I feel like it's difficult for me to dive in it. But it is buoyant enough where I feel safe and comfortable, and I don't feel like it's going to drag me down. Because it is 3mm neoprene, it also keeps me very, very warm. And I was actually really surprised by that, but it was actually kind of nice because the water was cold when I tried to swim in it. So that was a really good feature. To make sure that this tail lasts as long as possible, I would recommend always taking either a yoga mat or a really thick towel and putting it under your tail whenever you put it on, or have it out to dry or on the pool deck. Just basically never put it or pull it across any rough surfaces that may chip the paint of the scales, and just be really careful not to catch the scales on anything as you're swimming or as you're getting into the water. To take care of this tail, make sure that you rinse it really well, both inside and outside after you swim. What I like to do is I just take a hose and I hose off the outside, and then I hose off the inside. You could also do this in the shower, and then leave it to dry so that the fluke is propped so that water can run out the end of the fluke. And I would also recommend putting a pool noodle or something else to hold the body of the tail open, just so that you get airflow into the tail between the neoprene, and that'll keep it from getting stagnant. I didn't really have problems with this drying. This tail dried within like 12 or 24 hours, depending on the humidity outside, which was perfectly fine for me, because I had to pack it into a suitcase, and by the time I packed it into a suitcase, it was totally dry, and I didn't have to worry about it stinking up my whole suitcase with a mildewy smell. That being said, if you are living in a more humid area, make sure that you store this tail in a very dry place, as dry as you can get it, and make sure that you store it when it is fully dried, to prevent mold from growing on the inside, especially on the inside of the fluke. Yeah, that being said, this is all around like a wonderful tail. It is absolutely my favorite. And I'm really excited to announce that on April 13th, Finfolk released their 3rd generation of Mythic tails, as well as some of the colors from the 2nd generation that are still available on their website as of the release of this video. So if you are looking to get a Mythic tail, you should definitely go right now to the Finfolk website and check those out, because I know that they will sell out pretty soon. Thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope you found it helpful. If you did and you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed to see some footage of me swimming in this tail, and some other tail tutorials coming up in the future. Alright, fish friends, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. Mwah.